Welcome to the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast, the show where real estate investors talk strategy, capital, deals, and growth with your host, Dave Dubow.
So, chances are you've heard of this book called Profit First. Very, very good book. I wish I had found that decades and decades ago, but better late than never. Today's guest, David Richter, knows all about that book. In fact, he co-authored one for us real estate weirdos called Profit First for Real Estate Investors. So that's what he's all about. He offers fractional CFO services primarily for people in the real estate space who need a little bit of help with the financial side of things. We've had David on the show a few times before. It's always a pleasure. David Richter, welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me again, Dave. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So, hey, give us a little snapshot for those folks who haven't read the book or who don't know about the book. What's the big idea behind Profit First and why should people care?
Let's boil it down really simply. A lot of people know how to make money, but they don't know how to keep it. And This is a system to keep it because like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all those other books say pay yourself first. This is the system of how to pay yourself first and how to make sure you actually have cash profit. So that if I had to boil it down to just the core concept, that would be it.
Exactly. And the name kind of says it, profit first, right? So figure out what your profit is, put that aside first, then deal with the other stuff. Okay, cool stuff. So David, how did you decide to work with the original author of that book and really dial this in for real estate investors? Like, why do we need a version for real estate investing?
My background was real estate investing. When I first met Mike Mikowicz, the original author of Profit First, I was already about 850 deals into the real estate space because I was part of a company where we're doing 25 deals a month. And
what kind of deals were you doing back in the day?
Single family, a lot of single family stuff.
So flips and wholesale
turnkey,
stuff.
Wholesale. We had rent. We had about 100 unit portfolio as well too. Lease options, straight rentals, creative finance type deals. We were doing it all. When you do that many deals a month, we were doing lots of exit strategies. I was in that company for 5 years, and by that fifth year, I had learned lots about small business, all the different seats and all the different hats. I sat in the finance seat that last year, and I realized we were spending about 26 worth of deals out the door, even though we were doing 25 deals a month. It's like the math does not math. So that's what even took me down the road of like, okay, it doesn't matter how many deals you do. And then I was going to other groups and events, and everyone was in the same boat. When you got them one-on-one, they'd be real with you and honest. And that really opened my eyes. So that's what took me down the original pin that started it all, the domino there. And about, I don't know, probably 3 years after that whole fiasco with that company, I really wish I would have found Profit First then and could tell you a great story. But I started working with another investor right after that first company, and he was in the same boat, but at one deal a month. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter how many deals you're doing. Because I was thinking maybe it's a volume game. Maybe people are scaling themselves out. And this guy was not doing, he was doing 1/25th of what that company before was doing. And that's
still not making any money.
Still not. Well, his number one question: where's all my money? Like, where's all my cash? I'm like, okay, this is just
not seeing much profit at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Got it.
Not real cash in his bank account. So that's when the light bulb went off for me. Like, this is an epidemic. Doesn't matter how big, how small. What turned it on that real estate needed a Profit First book specifically was when I helped that guy with the one deal a month really just get clarity on the finances. He said, oh my gosh, now he knew 3 simple numbers: what he made, what he spent, what he kept, just like super simple stuff that he never had access to, of like, where is my money for real? And like, can I get it back out of some of these properties? How do I get back in the black? All that. And when I started the company, Simple CFO, I started it while I was working for him, and I said, hey, I'm starting this company. He's like, I'd like to be your first client. So he was like, I'm bought in. That was a huge shot in the arm for me when I was first starting. And about 10 months into that business, where he was backing me and he introduced me to some people, other people in the real estate space, some good mentors of mine, got me in front of people. And then I started to implement Profit First because someone had introduced me to that book right when I started Simple CFO. I'm like, this is a great framework for any entrepreneur. But then about 10 months into it, and after working with real estate investors, lots of people had tried to implement Profit First from the original book for the real estate world, but they had lots of questions. Like, it doesn't answer if I am selling the property versus if I'm buying and holding it. And like, are the percentages different? And are there different bank accounts? Like all the things that are specific to Profit First, they were trying to cram it in a real estate box, but they had more questions than answers. So that's when I reached out to Mike about 10 months into working with the real estate investing world from the fractional CFO side and Profit First, and said, hey, I've got a big background in real estate. I'd like to pair this with Profit First and my knowledge here and how it's worked for these last 10 months with these clients that I've worked with, and then write this book. So he gave his blessing. And then about 18 months after that is when the book officially went to the marketplace, because the book writing process is not a small endeavor. So that took
when you're going through a major publisher, that's for sure.
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
What year did the book come out? Remind me, David.
So December of 2021. So right at the tail end of 21.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So we were talking a little bit off camera because I've interviewed you a couple of times over the years. And what's new and exciting in Profit First, the world of Profit First, when it comes to real estate investors?
New and exciting. Well, I know.
Well, maybe new and exciting for you.
I was going to say, I know something we're working on, but it's almost like I'm a huge fan of The Office. And it's like when Dwight is saying, he's talking about martial arts and what's new in martial arts. And Jim's like, the things that change all the time. It's definitely martial arts. I feel like the same thing with money. It's like the principles of money. They're not going to change. But as far as exciting in our world, I would say a lot of people pick up the Profit First book and their biggest issue is implementation. Like they think it's great. Like, oh man, I want to pay myself. I want to keep more money, but I'm doing too much right now. They're already wearing too many hats. And usually they either start the process and then just stop in the middle, or they start it for a couple months and then it's like, it goes by the wayside. So in our world, we actually create some workbooks that gives them like a 90-day plan of, okay, how do I start with the least amount of effort to like put in this thing? So that way by day 90, it's like on autopilot. So that way they don't have to think about it, for hours and hours every week, or something that's really taxing on their brain cells. So I wanted to just make it, here's the bottom line, take the book Profit First, which gives you the concepts and some of the implementation. And then we just produce some workbooks to help them go a lot deeper for their businesses specifically.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Real estate world.
Yeah, because real estate's quite a bit different than other kinds of businesses, but there are dozens of different strategies within real estate investing. There's dozens of different asset classes within real estate investing. Yep. You come from more of a transactional buy and sell, flip, that kind of thing. But you also have experience in long-term buy and holds. But single family flippers, completely different business than multifamily operators and syndicators. So is that what these workbooks are? It's like, okay, if you're doing this, get this workbook. This is how to implement Profit First, or what does that look like? Yeah,
we actually created some 4 different exit strategies. Right now, we have 3 main ones out there for buy and hold investors. So if you're a landlord, or if you've got either regular rentals, Airbnbs, it could be anything on the single family side. We also have for fix and flippers and wholesalers. So we try to cover the main ones on the single family. We have one in the works on the multifamily side, and we have one for creative finance. So if you're taking the deals down on terms or selling on terms. So we wanted to make sure that people had access to that as well too. So the first 3 are already out there, and we're helping people with that on the workbook side and really diving deep into the different exit strategies. Because that's another thing. When I wrote the book, I'm like, oh my gosh, like how do I make this for all these different exit strategies? So I did in the book, I just had to make it, are you selling the property or are you buying and holding it? Now the workbooks can go a little bit deeper and help with a little bit more of the specific exit strategies that I wasn't able to cover in the book.
Yeah, because there's nuances to everything. So I think, I think the workbook idea is really, really smart. That way, who knows, when somebody's watching this or listening to this, there might be a workbook available for their particular strategy. Yeah. Okay, cool. No, that sounds great. Now, that's more for like, I'm guessing the operators are more hands-on, do it themselves kind of folks. What does the fractional CFO side of your business look like?
Yeah. So on that side, a lot of people, like I said, they want to start and they want to implement, but they need someone either to hold them accountable or help them to implement these systems. So on the fractional CFO side, we're doing three main things with every client that walks through our door. We call laying the financial foundation. Like, number one, do you have a good bookkeeping system, process, and person? Like, do you have numbers in your business? Can we tell the story by the numbers, or is there nothing there? Like, let's make sure we have that foundational piece. Obviously, we implement profit first as well. If they don't have profit first, like, you need to know where your cash is going. I want you to get paid. Third thing we do is a dashboard as well. So that's where I don't want you to just keep looking backwards and see what you've done. I need us to look forwards as well too, like actual strategy in the business of no matter what the market does, no matter what we're doing, like I need to know what cash do we have on hand? Where are we going? What if these close, this is what we'll do. If they don't close, what are we going to do? Being able to go where the puck is versus always trailing behind and trying to play catch up and be reactive.
All right, cool. So at what point in a real estate investor's business journey does it make sense to think about getting a fractional CFO? Because even though it's fractional, I doubt it's super cheap. So I mean, where does somebody have to be?
So we have two different programs. We have one that's called a 60-day program where if someone's between 100,000 to 500,000 in revenue, we basically lay that foundation and then you get those pieces and then they're yours. Like you can take that foundation and run with it until you need a fractional CFO on an ongoing basis. Because then we offer like a recurring program if you're above 500,000 revenue, where now it's more like bi-weekly or weekly financial meetings where we're sitting down and saying, okay, how are these numbers going to help us make decisions in the business and looking forward? So we did that a couple of years ago now, and that's really been helpful because a lot of people, like you said, it doesn't make sense for even a fractional CFO if they're, below 500,000 on an ongoing basis. So we want to at least have a foundational program for them to.
Well, that's really smart. That way you can help them get all set up, get things rolling, get things coming along, and then hand them the reins to keep it going. And then once they get big enough, they can hire you guys to take care of the nitty gritty. Okay.
And we've added bookkeeping too. So part of that 60 days, like setting up their books, like if they have nothing, like we got to get something in place. Like you have to have numbers going forward. So we want to make sure that's all covered.
Cool. Awesome, David. Well, hey, if people listen to this and that sounds cool, I want to check it out, or they want to get some of the workbooks, where should they go?
Yeah. So simplecfo.com/workbooks. So if you go there, you can choose between the three workbooks. Like it's online, you put all that information in, it'll send you back a report once you plug in the numbers, and it will send you like if you're doing wholesale, how many wholesale deals do I need to do in order to hit how much you want to make and like take home. So I'm really excited about you checking those out there at that website because I think it can give you a very crystal clear plan for your business and how much you want to pay yourself. So that's the workbooks. And if you just go to the regular website, that's where you can book a call and all that as well too, just simplecfo.com.
Right. And at the time we're recording this, it's end of May 2026. So if you're listening or watching this later on, there might be some other options in there for multifamily folks and creative financing folks as well. So again, what's the website one more time, David?
simplecfo.com/workbooks.
Simple as it gets. Thanks for being on the show again, buddy.
Yep. Thanks, Dave.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Property Profits Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, apply at daveinterviews.com.